Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now let's start our broadcast as usual from the national anthem to the prayer of our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let's go.
Good evening and good night to some of you. This is a very special broadcast, and of course, we must pray. And prayer we must this very evening and always going forward. And I will pray in the language of heaven because Chukwu Kikabiama is in control of all that we have been doing and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwu Okike abịa banye ndefe na aja ha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị na ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwa ala nsọ gị Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị wee na-eto gị wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi nara ụtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ise ise ise.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans. Thank you so much for joining me. The few people have joined. Other people can come later or watch later. You know what we are facing on this very platform, a lot of challenges. Sometimes they even block me not to come online. When I come online, they make sure they suppress the viewers and make sure that notification doesn't go. But they cannot stop us, no matter how they try. Even if it is one person or two people that are watching, that two people will share and the rest people will get the information later on. So we will continue. We will not allow them to demoralize us or make us to lose our courage. It is our responsibility to continue to preach that message until Biafra is restored. The only assignments we have is to restore Biafra. The restoration of Biafra is an assignment for every single one of us Biafrans. And it's an agreement that is cast on stone. We cannot go back, no matter what. No matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles, we will overcome. So today we're going to talk about the issue of the amalgamated caliphate, amalgamated zoological republic, where they have forced us to be together, where they have forced us to go into a marriage that we did not bargain for. the marriage of the horse and the rider. We don't want to be part of it anymore. And for people who have not understood, when they use that phrase, the marriage of the horse and the rider, just as our father Ayo Adebanjo used it, the horse and the rider. When he used that phrase, people don't understand. Some people might not understand. But today, when you see what is happening in their politics, you understand that the marriage in the contraption called Nigeria is the marriage of the horse and the rider. The caliphate are the riders, while other people becomes the horse. Every other indigenous tribe in that contraption called Nigeria has become the horse, while the caliphate, the Fulani caliphate, become the Fulani Janjaweed, they become the rider. They ride on the back of everybody in that contraption called Nigeria. They ride on the back of every tribe, ride on the back of everybody. And some people are pretending as if they don't know what is going on. Our statesman and elderly man and father, Pa Adebanjo, used that phrase, the horse and the rider. And that is exactly what is going on in Nigeria. How long will you allow yourself to be climbed upon and ride like a horse? How long? How long will that go on? How long are you going to allow that to go on? This has continued to go on time and time again, and some people pretend that they don't know what is going on. Somebody who is supposed to be a king has now turned to a beggar, eating the crumb that fell from the table of the kings. Even when you yourself is supposed to be the king. And people think it's okay. Some people are not concerned. They're just moving about as if it's business as usual. But that is the situation we find ourselves. Shall we continue in that path? We say no. Biafran people have already taken their part. They have already chosen their destiny. And Biafrans are not willing to continue to be in the marriage of the horse and the rider. The amalgamation of Nigeria is a false amalgamation and is all a lie. For all those our politicians that are deceiving themselves, pretending that it's going to be well tomorrow or next, because of their selfish interests. Most of the politicians you see parading themselves, who are parading themselves now, preparing themselves to contest for one thing or the other. They are only going there to steal. They're only going there to enslave their people the more. None of them have anything to offer. None of them have anything to offer. And in case you don't believe it, when you look at what is going on today, go and check all the political aspirants, all the presidential aspirants today. Go and check them. Go and check them, who they are. What have they done in the past? Go and check their foundation. Every single presidential candidate today that you see running and making noise, they are all fraudsters, criminals, people who don't have a job. They all depend on the money of the country, money that belongs to every indigenous person in that country. Individuals, they share it and put it in their pocket, and now they come to begin to rule you, lord it over you, and begin to tell you stories. The only man who has some atom of sincerity in him, Peter Obi, have seen his face. When we were telling them that there is nothing like Igbo presidency, some of them don't believe it. They say we are talking trash. But today, you can see it playing out clearer than ever. It is now becoming much more clear, much more clearer than ever. Much more clear than ever. If you don't understand it before, I believe by now, every single of us now understand the situation in that country called Nigeria. The only man that looks somehow to be a little bit genuine, you see what is happening to him. Today, Peter Obi has been bullied and pushed aside. He has been bullied and pushed aside. And it doesn't matter how many times you see him going to Britain and you see him talking with some British lawmakers and whatever. He is heading to nowhere. He is heading to, no miracle is going to make Peter Obi the president of Nigeria. We told him before, but I don't believe it. Now he wants to go and join another party. And that is where he's going to get the greatest disgrace. That is where they want to finish his career, joining another party. The two major parties you have in the country of Nigeria is APC and PDP. And you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Their so-called third force or whatever is all propaganda. It's all blackmail and propaganda. If Goodluck Jonathan, being a sitting president, this Fulani Caliphate could be able to maneuver against him. They maneuvered against him. They ganged up against Goodluck Jonathan and he lost. They ganged up against Goodluck Jonathan to make sure that they push him out of power. How much more you, an Igbo man who has not even been there before? You think you can compete with them with the third force. Who is going to stand with you? You can snap picture, take video with Britain for 1 million times. All those are just to calm you down. It's just a distraction. Just a distraction. They have already succeeded in pushing you away. That minute you left, what do they call it, PDP, that is the minute it is very, very clear that you are not going to get a #1 seat. Even though we are not asking for any presidency, we have been telling you that what we need is referendum. We are not interested in this marriage of the horse and the rider. We are not interested in it. But some of you are bent on going into it, feeling that you can perform one miracle. There is no miracle you can perform in that contemporary Nigeria to make it better. Everything you think you can do today, our eternal leader, Dimo Jumogojuku, have done it. Our eternal leader, Dimo Jumogojuku, gave them several political options, including the so-called restructuring they are shouting and crying about today. What did they do? They threw it to dustbin. Instead, they brought war and killed millions of Biafrans in order to protect their evil. And today, all of a sudden, you think you can come from one other angle and they cannot allow you in. The handwriting is on the wall already that they will never allow anybody from Igbo Biafra to be a president having a contract for Nigeria. And the plan is being orchestrated by Britain. Don't think because you went to Britain and they welcome you, you think they welcome P2B, you think that they are in support of P2B. They are not in support of P2B. All those advice they gave him to leave PDP and begin to join, but that was where he shot himself in the leg. That was where he shot himself in the leg for obeying that very instruction. And when he has left there, even though if he remains in PDP, he's not going to, but now it is much more clear that he cannot put any fight. He cannot put any fight. These people bullied a sitting president. Good Lord, a sitting president, they bullied him and pushed him away. With the connivance of the British and the US, they bullied him and pushed him away. And you think all of a sudden that you can do any miracle with the third force. Nigeria is dead. It is better every one of us that is still here today watching, let us go and prepare ourselves for referendum. Prepare yourself for referendum. There is no election. The election is not going to happen. In Biafra land mainly, there will be no election in Biafra land. It's not going to take place. If they want to do it, let them go and conduct it or not. But there will be no election in Biafra land. No. What we are preparing for is referendum. The Biafrans are preparing for their referendum, and that is what we are going for. Anything short of referendum is not for us. We are not part of it. Because we know who we are following. Our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nanekan, has said it time and time again, that Nigeria is irredeemable. And he called them a zoo. And when he made that statement, some people pick offense that Mazen Nanekan is calling Nigeria a zoo, Mazen Nanekan is calling Nigeria a name. But today, everybody have confirmed it. Everybody have confirmed it. That Nigeria is a zoo and cannot survive. It is becoming much more clearer than before. Much more clearer than before. Everybody can confirm it today. Unlike yesterday when we were talking about it, people will say, oh, you're making noise. Oh, you don't know what they're talking about. Today, it is much more clearer than ever that Nigeria can never survive. And if you think it's a lie, that Nigeria is a zoo, people are confirming it. So many people are saying it, using the same word. Exact language that Mazen Nandekano used. Even some people have gone to the extent of saying that even Mazen Nandekano was very lenient with the Janjaweed. He was very lenient with the zoo by calling them zoo. They don't even deserve zoo. What they call, well, they don't even deserve it. That the zoo is much more organized than the country we call Nigeria now. Look at the drama that is unfolding in their so-called election that those idiots are hoping for. All those one Nigerians, look at it, tell them who are they projecting and what is the plan for them to have that better Nigeria. There's no plan whatsoever, no plan anywhere. Go and check the list of all the people, all the monsters that they are projecting themselves. The list of every single one of them is a criminal. Every single one of them is a criminal. They are all criminals, people who don't have a legitimate means of livelihood. Every single one of them. What everything they have is what they have stolen from that country called Nigeria, and they want to continue to steal. They want to continue to steal. They want to continue to steal. And some people still pretend and think it's going to be well. It is not going to be well anywhere. The earlier you wake up and begin to prepare for referendum, the better. The only thing that is going to save the country of Nigeria is a referendum. Conduct referendum and people go their separate ways. If at the end of referendum, the Biafran decide to remain there, so be it. So be it. We will know that they have chosen it. They have chosen their fate. We will know they have chosen their fate. Nobody's going to fight about it. What we are demanding is the solution. And we are not only making demand. The only people that have the legitimate demand and are pursuing the solution to the problem is which people? The Biafran people. The Biafrans. They are not only seeing the problem. We saw the problem far, far back. When our eternal leader, Dimo Ojukwu, saw what is happening today, people were still sleeping. Some people were sleeping. Even Biafrans were sleeping. Dr. Nandeziki was still sleeping. The same way Mazen Nandekano came on board, he was shouting and shouting about what is going on today. Everybody went to sleep. All the politicians went to sleep. They called him name, called him different kinds of name. Today, look at what is happening to every single one of them. They have been bullied them and pushed them by the side. None of them can come out boldly and speak. None of them. All those of them who were making noise, Igbo president, go and check every single one of them. Today, what are they saying? What fight are they putting? Who are they projecting? Who are they projecting? Nobody. Finally, it is becoming much more clear than before. But I thank Chukwu Okike who gave us our Sunnah Mazin and the Khan, who have told us what we want, and we are pursuing that. Self-determination through referendum. That is what we want. The only election that will be conducted in Biafra land is referendum. Referendum is the only vote that we are going to vote in Biafra land is referendum vote. And that's what we are preparing for. That's what we're preparing for. And for some of you who will think that maybe asking for referendum or asking for self-determination, it's not asking for war. It's a legitimate request. Referendum is the most legitimate way to settle issues politically. The most legitimate way to settle issues politically is through referendum. And they conduct referendum on a daily basis. Even in the House of Assembly, when you say yes, some people say yes, some people say nay. That is referendum. Allow the people to choose what they want and do what they want. That is what we're asking for. It's not too much to ask. And it is not against the law. It is not against the law. Self-determination is supported by international law. African Chartered law supports self-determination. Even Nigerian law itself supports self-determination. That is why some lawyers are in court today. They are in court because of the self-determination issue. In that same Nigeria, there is a lawsuit for self-determination. In case you have forgotten, in case you don't know, I'm going to play the video for you to see, so that you know that we are not just talking. We are saying the right thing, exactly the way situation is.
Federal High Court to seek for two declarations, essentially. His case was that by virtue of Section 137, subsection 1.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has adjourned till the 20th of October 2022 hearing on the suit filed by the Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG, seeking a referendum to determine the fate of Biafra and other self-determination agitations. Justice Inyang Ekwo, who presided over the matter, granted all motions to allow interested parties to be joined in the suit to enable the country to conduct a referendum. The report.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted all joint application filed by the Igbo nation to join in the suit seeking a referendum for the independent state of Biafra.
You can see the courts in its magnanimity granted all the motion for joinder, and we are now properly joined. The Igbo nation is now properly joined in this matter. My prayers is that there should be that they should allow this the citizens of this country, the nationality of this country, to conduct a referendum to determine whether they will continue to remain in this country as one entity, or whether they will go their separate ways.
Certainly, we ought not to oppose the application because all the parties that are seeking to be joined are almost saying the same thing our client are asking for. What the plaintiff are asking for in the first place is an opportunity for all Nigerians be given the chance to decide whether they want to stay in Nigeria or not. It's their right. People should be given this opportunity to decide for themselves whether they still want to remain in the Federal Republic of Nigeria or not.
Counsel representing the Ijaw Nation, Temidie Peter Great, who also addressed journalists, noted that it would be joining the suit as defendants.
Upon getting wind of this suit pending in this honorable court, we, the Ijaw Nation, represented by the Ijaw National Congress, filed an application to join as co-defendants in the suit. Because the Ijaw Nation is not and has never been and can never be part of the Biafra Republic. If there is any republic we should have or are entitled to, is the Ijaw Republic and not Biafra Republic. So we need to be joined to assert our territories that have been forcefully incorporated into the Biafra map. Yes, our interests are similar, but we are saying that we are independent of Biafra.
The coalition of northern groups who filed the original suit called on the National Assembly to, as a matter of urgency, conduct a referendum to determine the geographical entity which makes up Nigeria. The case was, however, adjourned till the 20th of October 2022.
You've seen it. After watching this video, now you'll be convinced that what we are fighting for is legitimate. Our fight is a legitimate fight. This is a case that is in court. I played this video for you to know that when we are asking for self-determination, it is not a crime. What Mazen Dandekano is asking for is not a crime. You see the case in the court. And if Nigeria were to be a sincere nation, they are supposed to pursue this very case and follow it up and make sure that the referendum is being conducted before anybody will talk about anything that has to do with the election. But this case, you saw them pending this case will be postponed and postponed and postponed, and they will be talking about election. When the people whom you want to conduct election in the land say they don't want to be part of the land anymore, it doesn't matter what the lawyers are saying. I just played this thing. Even in that verdict, you can see that they are not even sincere. I don't even trust the lawsuit. Neither do I trust the lawyers you see there. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Nigerian government can be using them to manipulate. They can be using them to distract us, but we are not distracted. We are focused. We're not distracted. This thing that I've gone to court to do now is what Mazen Nandekano is requesting for, referendum. Being for the fact that this is a legitimate cause, why is it that it is difficult for this federal government to conduct referendum? Conduct referendum. Let the people decide where they want to be. Let the whole nation decide if they still want to remain in this one Nigeria business or not. This marriage of the horse and the rider, whether if they still want to be in it or not. If they choose to continue to be the rider, they remain there. Why is it so difficult for the federal government to listen? You have seen it. You know, when we talk about it, we seem as if it's just a joke. But this is what is actually fact. What we are asking for, self-determination, is not a crime. Asking for referendum is a legitimate request. The most peaceful way to settle issues. But you see, our politicians, even our politicians, if our politicians were to be sincere, the politicians in the House of Assembly, those in the House of Senate are supposed to be moving a motion for referendum now, not election. They are supposed to be moving election, pushing forward for a referendum. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They are supposed to be pushing forward, supporting those people who are in court and supporting those of us who are agitating to make sure that referendum is being conducted. Let the people, first of all, know their fate before you can take them to any election. Because we know that we are in a forced marriage. And in that forced marriage, there has never, ever been any election. All they have is selection. What they are having is selection. That is why we say we cannot be part of that selection. Biafra land will never be that part of that selection anymore. The only vote that we cast in Biafra land is the referendum vote, and that is what we are waiting for. That's what we are preparing ourselves for. All the politicians you see, every single one of them, they have sold out. They have sold their soul to the enemy. None of them is brave enough to come and demand for what their own people is asking for. You call yourself a representative of your people. You are representing your people. And it is very, very clear to even a blind man that in the old southeastern region in Biafra land, 90% of the people there want a referendum. They want self-determination. If not 100%, just a 90%. So why is it that you cannot be able to pursue the need of this 90%? And you are the same people talking about democracy. That democracy is a thing of number. And you are convinced, you can see it with you, even a blind person can see that in the number of people who are asking for self-determination, who are asking for self-determination referendum is much more greater than the number of those who still want to be in that contraption, in that deadly marriage. But none of them want to support. Recently, I saw a video where the lawyer of Goodluck Jonathan has gone to clear him to contest for election. You know, you have been hearing rumor. Today you hear Goodluck Jonathan is in APC. Tomorrow you hear he's in PDP. Somebody they disgrace out. Somebody who has been there saw the evil that is happening there. What is it that Goodluck Jonathan kept in that very place that he wants to go and take? Except that he has reached an agreement with this Fulani Caliphate. What is this pursuing? What is this chasing? This is how greedy some people are. How selfish they are. They are only thinking about their personal interests. A country that you know, an amalgamation that you know that your people did not sign into. They didn't sign into. You are still preparing yourself in one way or the other to fix yourself in and steal as much as you can because nobody's going to hold you accountable. Because nobody will hold you accountable. That is why you are preparing yourself. I want you to watch his lawyer. The nonsense his lawyer is talking now, he has been cleared.
The Federal High Court to seek for two declarations, essentially. His case was that by virtue of Section 137, subsection 1B, President Jonathan, having taken the oath of office to the office of the President on 2 occasions, is disqualified from contesting. Secondly, he also contended that by virtue of Section 137, subsection 3, which was brought into the Constitution by the 4th alteration to the Constitution in the year 2018, Jonathan, having completed the term of late President Yaradua and having served 1 term, is no longer qualified to contest. We joined the issues with them, and today, in the well-considered judgment that lasted for almost 2 hours, the court agreed with us that number 1, President Jonathan had not contested to the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on 2 occasions, that he only completed the term of President Yaradua on the basis of constitutional requirements. So he had contested to the office of the President only on 1 occasion. Secondly, the court also held that the 4th alteration, which introduced Section 137, subsection 3, does not apply to disqualify President Jonathan. So in summary, the court agreed with us and held that President Jonathan is qualified to contest the 2023 presidential election.
They are going on an appeal.
Well, when we get to the bridge, we shall cross it.
Yeah, he said when we
get to the bridge, we shall cross it. When they serve all their processes, we shall respond appropriately.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You have seen it, that Nigerian politicians, they don't have shame. These are a bunch of criminals and deceivers, and they can do anything for their selfish interest. With all the disgrace and insult that this man has gotten from the caliphate, he still want to be there to contest. He still want to go back to begin to disgrace himself and loot more. The only agenda he has is to loot, because it's a free place where they get free money. It is high time every single one of us wake up. As long as you're an indigenous person in the contraption called Nigeria, it's not for you. The contraption called Nigeria is not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. The Fulanization agenda and the Islamization agenda is on the high speed. It's on high speed, and you can see it play out every day. You can see it. There is never a way you can change the hatred. You cannot change the hatred they have over the Igbo Biafrans. You can not just the Igbo Biafrans, because sometimes when you talk about the Igbo Biafrans, it will seem it's just the Southerners, the hatred that the Fulani Caliph have against the Southerners, mainly the Igbo Biafrans. It's so much. It is so much. That very hatred that have been planning from onset, right from the time the first terrorists that entered into Nigeria, Ottoman Dafodio, right from the very first time that terrorist stepped into Nigeria, he created that very vacuum. Up to today, that hatred is still in their heart. And what did we do? The Igbo Biafrans has not committed any crime against anybody. They didn't commit any crime. The only crime they committed is that they are hardworking. They are hardworking. They don't want to beg. When you want to press them and keep them down, they don't want to be down. They want to struggle. They want to struggle. They don't want to stay down. That is the only crime they have committed. That is why they want to destroy them by all means possible. Continue to push lie. They will never give a chance. They will never give a chance, no matter what. They will never give a chance to anybody as a Biafran to come close to anything that's called leadership. When we say it, these people think they can perform magic. It is becoming more clear every day. The hatred is inbuilt. Is inbuilt. The caliphate, the Fulani caliphate, will prefer the division of Nigeria than giving an Igbo man a presidency. And they are prepared. They are very much prepared. The Fulanization agenda to dip their Quran into the Atlantic Ocean, they are pursuing by all means. And the only hindrances they have on their way is the Igbo Biafrans. That is the only hindrance they have in their way. It is not easy for them to run over. That is the only area you see that their Islam doesn't have a grip. They have used that Islam to penetrate on every side of that contraption called Nigeria. They have a foothold everywhere, except in Biafra land. It's only in Biafra land that is where they can't find a space to hang on to. They can't find a space to hang on to.
Are yet to wake up from your slumber or your sleep and get the point that we are exiting Nigeria. Exiting Nigeria is not going to come from the platter of golden plate. You have to sacrifice for it. And we are ready to sacrifice everything, including you, if you come and stand on the way of freedom. So you need to know how serious we are. We are damn serious. Some of you are not getting it. You think we are here to build political movement? We are here for freedom. Freedom comes with price. Okay? The only thing you can do is to comment on social media. Don't ever stand on the way of Biafra freedom. We'll crush you.
Their interest is suppressed. Biafra is the key. Once they can hold Biafra down, they can hold all of Africa down. Hey, freedom fighting, sorry. Because all these people are criminals, they are saying there is no way this man cannot be a criminal like themselves. They don't have a different breed altogether. They don't know that. I am Nnamdi Kanu. I don't do all this nonsense you do. My father was a very rich man, not ostentatious. I had the finest education that his money could afford. We are not poor. Have never been. That is why a poor man cannot be a freedom fighter. If you're not full of yourself, you cannot be a freedom fighter. You have to go everywhere. We must continue.